Hello everyone and welcome to a very special Specimen Spotlight episode. We are here at the beautiful Lake Jordan in North Carolina, where I walked down to just kind of enjoy a nice autumn day and ended up meeting a very, very interesting blue heron. Now these blue herons are found all over North Carolina. They're found all over a good part of the United States. So a lot of people would say this wasn't the most exciting find in the world, but I just cannot get over these beautiful birds. They're out here on the water. They are found pretty much throughout most of the United States. In the summer, they'll go up towards Canada and some of the northern central states in order to have their breeding time. And in the winter, they'll go down as far as some of South America and good chunks of Central America. But during most of the year, in a good chunk of the United States, you can find these guys at the waterways. And they roam around on those long legs of theirs, and they're just so elegant. I see birds all day long, every day, and there's just something about the great heron that always impresses me because of how still they are, how slow and thoughtfully they move. And that's really important for them because the great blue herons specialize in being able to move quickly, but being able to hold very, very still. Their hunting style is to go into the shallower parts of the water and to stalk frogs and mammals and other fish that they might be able to find lurking among the shallow waters. And they'll eat pretty much anything that they can get within their striking distance. And you see that very long, elegant neck. Well, that neck can actually form an S shape that pulls their head in close and allows them to dart their neck out really quickly and be able to grab at the prey that come by. And they eat fish, amphibians, reptiles, small mammals, insects, even other birds. And that's pretty impressive. So pretty much anything that they can impale, anything that they can drag, anything that they can swallow, then they're going to be able to get into their mouth. And kind of like other bird species have, they have the bills where they can just toss their bill back and slide the food down their gullet and have whatever they wanted to eat. And that sounds pretty aggressive, but the thing is, these herons have always been very thoughtful and slow whenever I see them. They don't weigh a lot. There's not much to them. And it's very uncommon for them to stick around when there's a person around. So I was so excited when I walked down to the edge of the lake and I saw a heron fly off, and I was thinking, oh, well, that would have been really cool to sit and visit with one. And I sat down and I turned, and there was this beautiful, beautiful heron. I don't know how to tell the difference between a male and female yet. I'm not sure if there is a significant difference, but this one was far more curious about me and far more comfortable around me than I have ever found any of the herons to be. They're used to being around people because they stay in areas that are waterways that a lot of people are around, at least around here. They're definitely out in the wild as well, where they probably aren't used to seeing people, but at this lake, this particular heron has probably seen people come by every single day, and it just didn't really seem to mind that I wanted to spend time just watching it. And look at those neck feathers. This is the closest I have ever gotten to a great heron. And this is the closest that one has ever let me really look at all the details of what they have. And they've got very specialized feathers on their chest. And you can kind of see those feathers right here. Those long special feathers will continue to grow and defray. And the herons will comb down. They'll kind of powder down is what it's called, with the claws in the middle of their toes to remove anything that catches on those feathers. They'll get the slime off, they'll get the oils spread through their feathers, which is very important for a bird that spends its time among the water, to make sure that those oils that they spread keep the water from getting into their feathers and weighing them down. And they're just amazing. Apparently they can hunt during both night and day, and they're just fantastic looking birds to me, because unlike being very flighty and moving very quickly, you can see the slow, patient step of something that knows how to hold very, very still and look for its food and then move very quickly when need be. I mean, look at this. You can see those long, continually growing feathers on the front of the chest right there. You can see that bill that's made to be able to stab at bigger fish or stab at its prey and kind of impale them really quickly. You can see the eyes, and those eyes are really good. Apparently they have very high percentage of rod type photoreceptors in those eyes, and that is what lets them hunt at night or at day, which I didn't know, so that was really exciting to learn about. Oh my goodness. And there are white versions of these ones that you can find down in Florida or the Caribbean, but the great blue heron is what you're going to see in most of the United States. They're just so pretty. They just really are. And I loved that I got to be this close to one. I know everyone's going to think, but Siri, this is just a great blue heron. You can find these guys pretty much anywhere, but it's still just so exciting to be able just to take a moment out of your day and walk down to a lake, sit down, and then just share a moment with something that's wild. Something where I walked into its home and I sat down on a tree stump on its beach, and it decided that it was going to be okay with that, and it was just going to kind of let me be. But these ones, they're very interesting. And there aren't really, I don't think there's breeding colonies around here, but something else I learned about the great blue heron is that they will form, in some cases, huge breeding colonies where they will come together in hundreds and they will build their nest, and the nest will be on the ground or in bushes, on mangroves and channels, and they'll even nest on artificial nest sites that people are trying to encourage them. And the colonies of these birds can include up to 500 individual nests, some of which are over 100 feet off the ground, some of which are close to the ground. And that just, I would just love to see more about the life of these herons, because the more I learned after I got home, after spending a whole day, well, I say a whole day, and it was probably 2 hours. 2 hours this bird and I kind of watched each other on the beach. And as you can see, this beach belongs to this bird, so I knew I was sharing its home with it. And it was a really fun feeling. It was really powerful just to move slowly and still and respectfully for the heron, and in return it let me kind of get a glimpse at its behavior. And that's what I hope for in the future, that I'll be able to move slowly and respectfully in the space that these wild creatures live in, and that they can show me just a glimpse of what their daily life is out there in the wild. So I just can't wait to see what else we discover, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.